Justice for!
Keita O'Neil!
Justice for!
Keita O'Neil!
Say his name!
Keita O'Neil!
Say his name!
Keita O'Neil!
Dean Preston, I'm District 5 Supervisor. I'm here today because I think it's pretty outrageous that the DA is dismissing charges against the first police officer charged with homicide for killing someone while on duty in the SF Police Department. So I think there's no reason to dismiss that case, and it was purely a political decision, and out here to stand with community in objecting to that.
And you think that the San Francisco Police Officers Association is having some influence in what she's doing?
Well, I don't know who's influencing who, but it's certainly part of their agenda. I mean, they've made clear that they don't want police officers to be held accountable for what they do on the job, and that was a big part of why our former DA got recalled, and now the current DA is delivering on, the promise, whether spoken or unspoken, of not holding police accountable. So it's really a very disappointing but not surprising result of the DA election, and I think it's good that people are speaking up and pressuring her to try to change course on this.
We need to get rid of this police. We had to, and we need to have justice for you children and my children, not just for the one that has died, but for the future generation. We are fighting for our children. That's what we're fighting for. What do we want? Justice. And when do we want it?
Now.
And what do we want?
Justice.
And when do we want it?
Now.
My name is Cheryl Thornton, and I'm here at the steps of 850 Bryant. Today, they are going in court for Keita O'Neil to decide if the case is going to be dismissed or not. What I want to say is that San Francisco is corrupt. Whether you go to the health department, to the housing department, to the school district, to the police department, it's just corruption all the way around. And we need to organize and build the people to stop this corruption in San Francisco. It's systemic and it's structural, and it's affecting all people of color, and it's destroying the fabric of this city. Keita O'Neil was murdered by the police of San Francisco SFPD, and there's no reason why he should not be held accountable for that murder. It makes no sense to me. And we're tired of San Francisco just paying out all of this lawsuit money, but yet never legally holding anybody accountable. Myself here, I work in the San Francisco Health Department. I have a lawsuit going myself, and the theme is to just settle the cases, never take them to trial, never hold the people accountable. How long are we gonna take this? How much money is San Francisco gonna waste on all this to cover up this corruption? The corruption needs to stop, and it needs to stop now.
Alex Nieto.
Presente.
Jessica Nelson Williams.
Presente.
Luis Gongora Pat.
Presente.
Amilcar Perez Lopez.
Presente.
Sean Moore.
Presente.
Keita O'Neil.
Presente.
Mario Woods.
Presente.
Luis Gongora Pat.
Presente.
Amilcar Perez Lopez.
Presente.
Alex Nieto.
Presente.
Jessica Nelson Williams.
Presente.
Keita O'Neil.
Presente.
Sean Moore.
Presente.
In 2015, SFPD executed 6 people. Amilcar Perez Lopez was the second one. Mario Woods was the 6th one. When activists did the calculations, it meant that in 2015, San Francisco ranked 8th nationally among U.S. cities in per capita police executions, number 8 in the entire country. And this is the city of St. Francis. This is the most progressive city in America. This is a city run by the Democratic Party, and we let our police run around killing people with total impunity. And so the people united and demanded that Chief Sir be fired. And our brothers and sisters did a hunger strike in front of the Mission Police Station. And SFPD went on to murder 2 more people before finally Chief Sir was fired. We demanded that the U.S. Department of Justice come and put San Francisco Police Department under consent decree. The U.S. Department of Justice came in. They made 272 recommendations of things that need to change in SFPD. 272. What kind of police department is that? Then we demanded that the killers of Mario Woods be held accountable. If I killed someone, I'd go to jail. Why does SFPD get to kill, and no one is ever charged? And so, and of course, the killers of Mario Woods were not charged. The killers of Amilcar Lopez was not charged. The killers of Alex Nieto were not charged. Kenneth Harding Jr., say his name, presente. And so finally, the people of San Francisco united and said, we need a district attorney who represents us, who will hold everyone to account, everyone equal justice under the law. There's no special status if you're a San Francisco Police Department, you don't get to kill people. And we elected Chesin Boudin as our district attorney. And he did what he promised he would do. He held our police to the same standards as you or I or anyone here would be held to. And because of that, because he charged two SFPD killer cops, the San Francisco Police Officers Association, the real estate developers, and the billionaires wanted him out. And so they financed an AstroTurf recall campaign to get rid of him, and they paid Brooke Jenkins $200,000. $200,000. And while she claimed to be a volunteer. And then when they were successful in the recall, they appointed Brooke Jenkins, Mayor London Breed appointed Brooke Jenkins to be our district attorney, and then the people of San Francisco elected her district attorney. And now she's delivering on her campaign promise, which is, I will not hold any SFPD officers to account. And the people are outraged.
Justice! What do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want it? Now!
Okay. Here we are trying to organize this struggle against police terror in the community, the black and brown communities. Very much so, especially in the black communities. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to let everyone know that it is not only those that have been murdered that we are claiming justice for, out of some good heart that we have, but because it is the survival of our children. We as mothers of black and brown children are not able to sleep really well, because when our children go out, we do not know whether they're going to come back alive. And that's not a very happy feeling. So we know that we need to have justice done. In the case of Keita O'Neil, it's really important. It was a historical moment for all of us to be able, for the first time, to have a police officer to be charged with murder. So today, this woman, Jenkin, is trying and is going to move to dismiss the case. I know, that's what I'm going. Dismiss the case. And so that's why we are all here saying no. And we want to hear from his aunt that has been leading this struggle for justice for her nephew.
Did receive a letter from the AG last night around 7:30 p.m. Not from Bonta, but from one of his chief officers investigating the case. So I'm going to break it down. I haven't had a chance to send it to everybody. I'm sure we will get it to you this morning. A lot is happening, and I just wasn't feeling well last night, trying to rest. Please verify that with my attorney, Brian. Is he's not considering removing Jenkins from the case. The second thing out of the letter is he needs more time to review the case. My attorney and I, Brian, spoke about this last night, 8 o'clock at night. He's been up all night for this motion that I sent to many of you this morning.
The motion fits exactly pretty much the letter that was written. They need time to review this. And I definitely want time for the Attorney General's office to review my nephew's case. And the other thing in it is asking if we can ask for another hearing, a separate hearing where my attorney can come and argue the case. He needs to look into if he can be allowed and get the court's permission to show some videos and documents so I don't get sued and lose my home. I'm already stage 3 cancer and getting ready to go through chemo. So I don't need to be homeless and be sued because they're pretty vicious, the side that's representing this officer. So, and my sister, which is my nephew's mother, who I take care of, that has dementia. So we're both sick. So he's asking for that today, more time. He's also asking, from my understanding, please clarify it with Brian, because I don't want to say anything or quote, that if the judge could just go on and appoint the case, assign it to the Attorney General's office, so that way we don't have to worry about another time frame. It will give me more comfort in knowing that now we're not on a time schedule, because if she dismisses that case today, then we have only 9 days for that case for someone to stop it or to charge, or the voluntary manslaughter charges will drop. And at that point, this is the strongest manslaughter charges. This one will stick. The only one left will be first-degree murder, and that's a slippery slope. Manslaughter is because it gives him the benefit of the doubt of some type of fear already. But it doesn't justify it in my nephew's case. We believe strongly it shows that by the evidence. I do own the civil file case, which now my attorney is in possession of. We're asking Bonta's office in a letter that we believe that if he reviewed it, and we wanted to make sure that he is eyes on, not just this chairperson, because that's what we're going through now. It seems like the right hand don't know what the left hand is, and now these people that investigated popping up and all this stuff, that's why we're here. And it's become so political, and the focus has left that a black man was murdered. And he's caught up in a political football. And his life counts. All of our lives count. It shouldn't matter what color our skin is. So we're asking for me to meet as a victim with Bonta personally and my attorney, because we did respond to his letter. And in return, and that we believe that if we sit down with him, because we have the civil case, and if they knew that she's not even interested in representing my nephew, so I'm not understanding why they feel why they don't want to remove the case or considering not to, when she's made it clear she's a compromise. She's a conflict. So we feel they don't have all the information. And that's why we would like to meet with them. We're requesting it in writing so that we can sit down and talk and go over the case. This is too valuable of a case. This is my nephew, but it's also about the future. It's sad it's taken his life that can make change possibly the future of how our black and brown men are interacting with the police and how they interact with the police. So I thank you. This means so much to me. This is so touching to me to see people out here and supporting my nephew. I can't tell you how much it means to have the mothers, to have these organizations, I can't place them all, involved here and standing with me. My voice is about to go down. I'm going down. And I really need people to take my voice. I really need you to keep my nephew alive. And really hoping that Bonta will take on his case and will meet with me as a victim, because I really would like to talk to him before any major decisions are made that could be detrimental. We don't know what impact it will have on our future black and brown men if this officer walks away with murder. The message will be clear. If this man walks away, it won't matter what video you have, pictures, witnesses. They'll do it in broad daylight and put it on their social media and laugh themselves because they have a DA in office who will not hold them accountable. Our black and brown men will start being slaughtered like cattle. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to head in.
Say his name.
Get O'Neil!
Say his name.
Get O'Neil!
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Williams-May. I am a DSA-SF member and a help of this coalition that has come together for this amazing rally and protest. We are here to really fight for police accountability, right? We're fighting for police accountability. Because we are San Francisco, California. When we see the injustices that are happening in front of us, we are the front line to fight against it, right? We have all seen that horrific video of Keita O'Neil being murdered, right? We've all been deeply, deeply affected by it. How can our district attorney look at that and say, no, I'm not going to prosecute it? Boo! Boo! Hiss! I have devoted my life to fighting for these criminal justice reforms. I know all of you have devoted your lives to fighting for this fight, and we are all standing here today saying this is not right. Justice for Keita O'Neil. Say his name. 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 Keita O'Neil. We will not stand and watch this happen. We will not. If District Attorney Brooke Jenkins believes that we will be sitting idly watching her totally disregard police accountability, she has it wrong. She's wrong. She's wrong. She's wrong. Big wrong. We are standing together as community organizers, as friends and family, as family of this city, saying we will not stand and see this happen again and again and again without any kind of repercussions. That's right. And I got a little carried away. Sorry, I forgot I was came up here actually to say something else. Apologize. And right now we're asking folks from this rally to come in and pack the court. We're asking folks to come inside and say, we will not stand and watch this happen quietly. Nope. We are fighting back. Yep. We are standing here and saying, this is not going to happen again. We are here as a community fighting and saying, enough is enough. No justice! No peace!
I'm so happy that we're coming together for this particular case, right? But I hope in my heart that we all know that it's not only about this case. That all the other cases are just as important. That they have been murdered, these children, these young men and women, with total impunity by the police. And I hope we win this case, but that's not enough for me. I want to win the case of Mario Woods, of Alex Nieto, of Keita O'Neil, of all of them. We have to understand where is it that we're standing at. When we, the mothers, go on the march and have been marching for the last 8 years, we had in front of the Police Officer Association, and we started it here first, it's because we want real justice. We want to stop the madness once and for all. And I know we can go all in packed up court, and they don't give a damn about us unless we really organize a movement to stop the madness that is going on. It's not just about that goddamn thing only alone. We need to understand that. And it's up to you and me and all of us to stop this.
That's right.
And it's only the power of the people that can do that. Anything that they have done, even when they did this case, even if it was Chesin Boudin who did it, who I love and respect, even he did it because we the people forced them to do so.
Right.
It was the power of the people. We decided it, that nobody else. And so that's what we need to say. I am not, I'm going to fight, and let's fight to get all that justice, but they're never going to give us justice unless we really organize and we do something. And we call this people's power, okay? People that are going to speak here is about people's power, about our ability to organize and speak for ourselves. Because somebody is always speaking for us. Some big hands is always speaking for us. So we have as people to come and speak to us and tell us these things. I know some of the brothers are trying to organize some civil disobedience here. We are all trying to do something in order to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. No more killings. We need to abolish the police.
Yes!
We need to shut down the Police Officer Association.
Yes!
We need to yell all the killer cops.
Yes.
That's our demand, all of them. So we would like to ask Steve, where's Steve, to come and speak to us. He's a labor organizer, somebody that is always there when we need a voice. So we need to hear from the people, right? The regular. So Steve, come here.
This corruption, and that's what we're talking about. A corrupt court, a corrupt district attorney, she should be prosecuted. Yeah, what about arresting the district attorney? What about arresting the district attorney from taking money and lying about where money comes from? What about, so this corruption that's going on in San Francisco, this is part of it. The POA controls the district attorney. They paid $20 million in San Francisco for police murders, and the same police are on the police force. How could that be? There's no accountability in San Francisco. The corruption in this court today with the judge and this district attorney is a systemic problem. The Board of Supervisors have allowed this as well. They redistricted and for the developers. That's what this all is all about, the developers and pushing black and brown people out of San Francisco and attacking the black and brown employees in the city and county of San Francisco. We need a working class political attorney, a political movement. I want to call out the union leadership in San Francisco, which want more money for the police in San Francisco. Bullshit! Bullshit! We don't need any more money for the police in San Francisco. They always have more money. In fact, the mayor is asking for another $18 million for the police. Let's give that money to the families. Let's give that money to working class housing. Let's give that money to health care. People are dying in the streets in San Francisco, but they want to give more money to the police. We need a working class movement. The unions and working people have to stand together against these police murders. It's an attack on the working class. Mumia Abu Jamal was reporting about that, was speaking about it. That's why he's been in prison for over 40 years. They want to shut down those people who tell the truth about what's going on in the working class. So let's demand that they prosecute and that Bonta prosecute. We need to be out and demand that Bonta prosecute because this district attorney is corrupt. She has to be replaced, and we need a working class political alternative. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
This is a people's rally.
How do you spell murder?
SFPD.
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 Folks have been fighting for police accountability in San Francisco for quite some time. Kenneth Hardin, Alex Nieto, Mario Woods, the names go on, Keita O'Neil, Luis Gongora, Emil Carr, Jessica Nelson. First of all, we have to break down the politics of San Francisco and understand how dangerous identity politics is and how infested we are of that. San Francisco is not a sanctuary city, and they'll do everything in their power with media, politicians, people in power to try to hold that facade over our face. For years they've done it. They try to calm us down with certain shit, with all these policies and certain laws that they pass and certain people they put in positions, right? When you got a Chief Scott, you got a London Breed, you got a Brooke Jenkins. Understand, this is what they want. This is done throughout history and time. They've done this in Philadelphia. They've done this in Washington. They've done this in Chicago to have the face of what we had before. Ed Lee, a yellow mayor. We got brown people that are supervisors. We got black folks that are in positions of power, and the leadership sucks. It's not in touch with the community. The community fought for years. Keep this clear. This is not an endorsement for any politician, but why we're in this position is because we fight to jail killer cops. Even as abolitionists, we know there's a process to the justice that we seek. So we want these cops, these human beings, quote unquote, if they want to be treated like that, they have to suffer the same consequences that every one of us would have to suffer in this type of case. That's period. So when we say that, we have to understand what accountability means, what community means, what we're coming together for. George Floyd, rest in power. The brother Nichols, rest in power. But we don't have that same energy in our own city for brothers and sisters that died in our own backyard. That shit amazes me. That shit's disgusting and it's sad. We got people in division and people don't want to come to certain protests because they don't get along with a certain person and all that. We got to put that shit aside. We got to put that shit aside. We don't got to hold hands crossing the finish line when it comes to police accountability. We have to fight together, though. Understand, we have a common goal here. So we have our job. I feel our job is to educate as well. That's why folks hold space in the streets too. It's not just stopping business as usual. It's informing the people why the fuck we're out here. Because people don't know. All of us, I guarantee, have been in a position where we are naive to shit like this. We didn't really look at it that seriously. And we drove past it like, oh, wow, they must be going through it. Or, oh, it's that time is over. You know what I'm saying? We have to educate, regardless if you feel like you're corny or they feel like you're doing too much or you're grandstanding or whatever it is. Put your ego aside. Put your pride in your pocket and serve the people. Because that's all it's about. This is not about an organization holding space. This is about community holding space in solidarity with what's going on. Because like it or not, there's going to be another Keita O'Neil. There's going to be another Mario Woods. What are we going to do? What are we going to do when there's another George Floyd, Jessica Nelson, or Breonna Taylor? We have to organize and prepare for that. There will always be direct action. There will always be protests. Because this fucking bullshit country, so-called country, is infested with corruption. There will always be people with a true heart that walk the path that want justice to be served. So it doesn't matter in which way we fight this. We need to recruit each other. We need to recruit each other, understanding, moving with consideration, and always have a revolutionary-minded way to approach things. It doesn't have to be violent. You don't have to get arrested. We have to educate ourselves first. We have to show how willing we are to go the extra length for justice. Are you willing to quit your job? Are you willing to commit once a week to a meeting? Are you willing to commit losing your health? That shit is real. Are you willing to even put up a post? Because some of y'all might even lose your job for putting up a post. I know, because some of y'all work in different organizations, different nonprofits, and I can imagine some of y'all work corporate. So you have to disguise yourself in order to even speak your mind on how you really feel. That time has to overcome. You have to overcome that. We have to surpass that timidness. You know what I'm saying? You got to speak your mind, and it doesn't matter. We don't have to grab a fucking microphone. Tell the people that matter to you what's going on. Yeah, you know about George Floyd. Do you know about Keita O'Neil, though? You feel me? Do you know about Breonna Taylor? Do you know about Jessica Nelson Williams too? You feel me? And it's not no shade or trying to derail the progress of what's going on. You see at City Hall, London Breed and Brooke Jenkins, they had this performative act where they're on the steps, not these steps, but imagine City Hall, where they're in solidarity with Tyree Nichols. Excuse me if I pronounce his name wrong, but the same thing they did for George Floyd. Take a knee. Show us that you care. For someone that's 1,000 miles away when you have someone 100 yards away that died in cold blood in the SFPD hands. That makes no motherfucking sense. How are we blind to that? And how are we naive to our own people power? How we think we can't change things because we need more people. Yes, it'd be beautiful to have more people. You think we can't cause a commotion right now together? A good commotion? You understand what I'm talking about? Without losing your job, speaking your heart, speaking your mind. We got to be afraid of that. I mean, we got to stop being afraid of that. We got to stop being afraid of that. As people, as community, we have to stand up. It's in numbers. You know what I mean? It is in numbers. Small people make noise too as well, but it's in numbers to educate. You know what I mean? It's very important to understand that Mario Woods didn't happen long ago. Sean Moore didn't happen long ago. All these didn't happen long ago. They're going to make you think that and sweep it under the rug and act like they've made progress. And say defund the police. They'll actually say that and that they're relocating the funds somewhere else. Do your research, I beg you, because that has not happened. All that they're doing is funding the police with more tanks, more toys for these police to play with, and gadgets that are unnecessary for civil, quote unquote, civil disobedience. This is not the way it should be going. We have to stand up, educate, and stand in solidarity with the families, as well as stand with the community. We are going to be facing this fight, whether any district attorney's in that motherfucker, regardless who is mayor, regardless who's supervisor, district supervisor, or whatever bullshit district, we'll still be fighting. So come on, let's keep fighting, y'all. Let me say one more thing. When we were just writing chalk on the street just now, that police officer had the nerve to say, you guys can take the stairs now, but don't block traffic. What's that mean? We're gonna block traffic, motherfucker. You don't tell us what to do. You don't tell the people what to do, but that is how comfortable they've gotten with us out here in San Francisco. That's how comfortable they can think they can talk to us. Without a police liaison or a black or brown woman or man, that's how they can come across and grant us shit. Those days are over. Those days are over. We push the limits. We break the laws. We bend the rules. Power to the people, y'all.
So like we said, right, we are all here for people's power. And I always believe that we should invite all those in our communities, even if we have difference or not, that have been fighting for justice. There's a lot of us that have been in this struggle, one way or another. Gloria Larriba, would you like to say some words over here to all of us, please? Let's welcome her. We all should do that. As a sister.
Thank you, Christina. I don't know about any disunity here, because I haven't seen a protest like this in a long time. It was so encouraging to come here and see everybody against this administration, which, as Crypto said, has a facade that happens in a lot of cities, from Detroit to Chicago to Washington to New York. Eric Adams, mayor, right? Former cop. Same policies. The uprising after George Floyd's brutal assassination did a lot to change the consciousness of a lot of people. The polls show that people recognize in the white population that the majority said, yeah, there is a problem with police brutality. It didn't exist before. We should understand what the rebellions and uprisings do to change things. But it hasn't changed things institutionally, because we really need a change of the system, and other speakers have spoken about that before. A system where the people come first and profits are not a priority or even exist. That the needs of people come first. I just came from Wounded Knee last night. I just landed where the 50th anniversary of the takeover of Wounded Knee, a 71-day occupation of American Indian movement and supporters, where the Army, the National Guard just fired 300,000 bullets because people wanted justice on the reservation, wanted Native American rights, the same way the Black Panthers and all the other liberation movements of the 70s and the 60s. And we're on the edge, the precipice of a new movement. It's already started. It really began with Occupy, and it's built up ever since. But we have to keep it up, and we have to fight this administration. It makes me sick what happened. After Tyree Nichols, where I was in Memphis, I went to Memphis after his murder for the protests that were going on there. And then to come back and hear in this city that the mayor was talking about Tyree Nichols, and community activists who support her were dissing the people who came to say, what about my son? What about my nephew? It's an outrage, and we have to keep fighting those who back the cops. Jail killer cops. I always say, if every cop who fired somebody, murdered somebody was jailed, that would put a big stop to this. But last year was the record number of police murdered, 1,600 that we know of. Record, even after George Floyd. So we have a lot to do. Let's keep it together here, all of us. I love everyone here who's fighting, and I love the militancy. That young man in Baton Rouge got murdered by the cops, the one who was selling CDs. There's too many. Alton Sterling, I flew there, 2016, and there were all these several hundred young black youth who never protested before in Baton Rouge. They were so young. And they were all standing on the side because the cops had blocked this major highway road, not a freeway, but a big road. 300 cops had blocked it. There was no traffic. And the young people were being told, you don't step on the sidewalk. So I'm traveling across the road, filming them, all these cops, and said, let the youth march. Well, they arrested me and about 100 other people. And, it made news. And the cops, we were exonerated later because they're the ones who blocked the road. But I have to go to a union meeting now. It's something I have to do. But for everyone who's here, I want to be with you. I want to be in the courtroom. And all the next actions, we will be together. Jail killer cops!
Jail killer cops!
Justice for all the victims of police murders!
Justice for all the victims of police murders!
Really respect her tremendously for her consistency, for always being there, for taking a stand, for doing things that probably I wouldn't do. So I welcome her, please.
You see that houseless mom and dad are sleeping in a tent? I said, did you see that houseless mama and daughter sleeping in a tent? That's because we don't got money for the rent. There's a price on my head because I don't got money for a bed. There's a price on my head because they want houseless people dead. As we are standing here on this occupied Yalamu, occupied Ohlone Lashan territory, let's not ever get it twisted that the murder of poor people, of black and brown people, of disabled people is intentional. Because as far as systems like this believe, we're just taking up space. And we ain't paying for what we take. So let's get it very clear. Private property is a settler colonial lie. And if we stand in front of the palace of the creation of that lie, because it can't happen without those guns and that artillery and these systems and these liars like Brooke Jenkins and these politricks and politricksters who can drop a dime on someone like Chesin Boudin and suddenly he disappears. Not that he was the utopia, but he was trying to do a little bit of something. And oh, hell no, the politrickster said, there ain't no space for you, bruh. Because we got to keep this system going. And we got to keep evicting, shooting, and kicking. Evicted, shot, and kicked. Because settler towns like this don't give a shit. So I'm just going to remind everybody here that Luis Gongarapat, that Amilcar Perez Lopez, that Jessica Nelson Williams, that Stephen Taylor, that so many more, our own Papa Bear, panhandler reporter with Poor Magazine, were killed because they were houseless, because they were black and brown in this stolen and these stolen towns. So let's make those connections. As far as this system believes,
There ain't no room for us poor people bodies except in the plantation prisons that they keep building for us. So I love every single one of you. I love our beautiful sister Maria who keeps it going no matter what. Shout out to the mamas who keep this fight going. Shout out to the beautiful sister, auntie of Keita O'Neil, who's sick and she's coming out here to speak. Shout out to our ancestors of this lie called Americlan private property and this POA state. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Oh.
When I pronounce names wrong, English is not my language, so I try to do the best I can. And I allow you to pronounce mine wrong all the time, so read it.
I got another name that's hard to pronounce. It's JT Faraji. Yeah, man, I guess my words today are about the way society distributes justice, our society. And it's a shame, it's disgraceful, it's disgusting that people in our society are able to commit murders and atrocities against other people because of the background that they come from, because they're black or brown or poor, marginalized, LGBTQ. It's disgusting. And until we all can come together and say that we're not going to tolerate it anymore, it's going to continue. So I'm grateful to each and every person that's come out here today to say that, you know, they're not going to stand for this disgusting behavior. You know, a killer cop in this city has been up on charges, and to have those charges dismissed is beyond disgraceful. It's beyond disgraceful in a city that is historically looked at as a liberal city, a liberal big city, a democratic liberal big city. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And it speaks a lot to the state of the country at this time, that our values have backslid so far that this behavior is acceptable and is being normalized. This is a normal behavior that people are able to kill marginalized folks without consequence. And it's disgusting. I'm disgusted to have to come out here and support this protest. I'm disgusted that there's not more people out here outraged that with what is happening here in San Francisco, across the Bay Area, and across this country. We're setting a precedence, and it's not a good one. We need to continue to push this line, and we need people to wake up and pay attention to what is happening here. Pay attention, because when we have incidents of Tyre Nichols, you know, and folks that are deemed worthy of national attention, everybody's up at arms. And it speaks to the state of the country when we are not standing up for everyone that is being done wrong by the system and by the law. It is speaking to our country when we're not standing up on behalf of those folks, the marginalized, you know. And if you're an officer of the law and you're listening to me right now, you should be disgusted with your department. You should be disgusted with the way that your people are handling business. This is supposed to be a fair and a just country. It's supposed to be a country with checks and balances, and there's no checks and balances when it comes to policing, and I'm tired of it.
How do you spell murder?
SFPD.
How do you spell murder?